now joined by the mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who last week delivered a powerful message to her community, not just as the city leader, but also as a mother.
I am a mother. I am a mother to 4 black children in America, one of whom is 18 years old. And when I saw the murder of George Floyd, I hurt like a mother would hurt.
The mayor has made impassioned pleas for protesters to avoid violence and work in other ways to make the change they seek. Mayor Lance Bottoms, good morning to you. It's good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
As I understand it, Atlanta had a better night last night, more peaceful than any in the last few days. What do you attribute that change to? What's working there?
I'm grateful, and I don't know what the reasons are, but I know that this, of course, is the birth of the civil rights movement in America, and it's been our longstanding policy to allow peaceful protests to happen and assemble in this city. But I also think, most importantly, we're doing the work each and every day, and I hope that's resonating with people. We've closed our city, or we're closing our city jail, converting it into a center of equity. We've eliminated cash bail bonds in our city. We've closed our detention center to ICE. And there's so many other programs that are happening each and every day in the city. And I hope that's giving us some grace, that people recognize that we are at least trying to do the right thing.
Madam Mayor, the president suggested yesterday that local leaders need to get tougher. He called governors weak, and he said that if they don't act more forcefully against these violent demonstrators, he will deploy the military. What is your perspective on that kind of approach?
My approach is that I think that this is a time in our nation when people of good conscience have to step up, not just alongside our protesters, but our leaders. And this is an opportunity for our leaders in the Senate and in the House to say enough is enough. This moment is so much bigger than Donald Trump. And I have to catch myself because I find myself getting caught up in his antics. But it really is not about him. It's about who we are as a country and who we want to be as a country. And so I would just ask if we have passed the point of any type of reason and sound decision making from him, that our legislative representatives stand in the gap and do what needs to be done.
Who do you think is behind these violent demonstrations? Is it young people blowing off steam because of injustice and anger? Is it other groups with an agenda, whether they're political groups of the left or of the right? What is driving not the protest, but this violent demonstration, the looting, that kind of activity?
No, the anger and the frustration is real, so I can't pinpoint that it's one group or the other. I mean, even my 18-year-old son sent me a video of an incident in Atlanta, and he said, this is why people are tearing up our city. This is why people are so angry. So people are feeling it. But I do know that in Atlanta, there have been outside agitators. I don't know who they are, but they are not recognized as a part of the normal group of protesters and organizers that we see in our city. But I think there are always people who are going to seek to disrupt and to be troublemakers. And I think that's when the majority has to say that we will not be a part of this. And thankfully, that's what we've seen in Atlanta.
And in the few seconds we have left, Mayor, you're a mom, you're a city leader, you're a judge, a lawyer. You have a lot of unique perspective on this. Where do we go from here? How do we get out of this moment and on to change?
Well, that's the question I've been asking myself for the past several days. What is the point of satisfaction? We know that the larger issue is that so many people of color in this country feel devalued, and we are seeing it play out in real time with murders in broad daylight. But I think that there has to be immediate things that we can, immediate returns to give to our communities that we can articulate. But I think there has to be a longer, broader plan for us to heal our communities, beginning with the psychological trauma that so many in our communities are experiencing right now.
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, thank you for your time, ma'am. We really appreciate it.